Today on the Tiger Basketball Report, we'll review the Tigers game against Old Dominion University. Get ready, Tiger fans. The Tiger Basketball Report starts now.
For an athlete, there's nothing scarier than a torn ACL.
Athletes trust us with their care and their careers because we're a recognized leader in sports medicine.
Get back to your active life sooner with MedStar Sports Medicine.
Wise Markets Ice Cream Plant is based in Sunbury, Pennsylvania, and is locally owned and operated. We've been making our ice cream for nearly 50 years. We create roughly 70 flavors of ice cream right now. We use local ingredients, especially our cream, which is from our milk plant. The cream is what gives our ice cream a rich and creamy texture. Now, together with our customers, we've created a product called Peanut Butter Indulgence, which will be coming out this summer. It's a peanut butter ice cream with sea salt caramel swirl and chocolate-covered pretzel. How can you go wrong with that? Personally, I love our ice cream. If you come to our house at any given time, you'll find at least 5 packets of ice cream in our freezer. Our kids grew up eating Wise quality ice cream, and now we get to treat our grandchildren to it. It's been a pleasure for me to be tasting ice cream for over 40 years for Wise Markets, and I'm loving every minute of it.
Hello and welcome inside the Towson Sports Network studios for today's episode of the Tiger Basketball Report. I'm your host, Spiro Morekas. The Tigers welcomed an old CAA foe into CQ Arena, the Old Dominion Monarchs, this past Saturday. And in a game where neither team led by more than 9 points, the Tigers fell by 2, 60-58. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Feed it up top to Adalamoto. Get it to Mormon, puts up a shot. Basket's good, and he's fouled. Hit the front of the rim. Work it back up top. Get it to Morcell with a three, and he hits his second. Get up top to Taylor. Taylor feeds on the left wing as he gets it back to Caver. Up top to BJ Stitt, dribbles in, foul line jump shot is good. 13-12, BJ Stitt with his first 2. Feeds on the left as he gets it to Stitt. Stitt feed down low, intercepted by Adalamoto. William over midcourt, gonna take it coast to coast. Scoop shot up and in. 16-15, Tigers by 1. Restart the offense.
That's that size he had on Davis that time.
Up top, Baker, three-point shot, it's good. Jordan Baker hits the 3. Taylor over midcourt, down the right side, flips it back out the field, swing it left side to Baker, three-point shot, good. Jordan Baker with 6 points. He's got 2 threes. Old Dominion with their biggest lead, 30-23 with 2:05 to go here in the first half. Feed it on the wing to Mormon. Mormon back up top to Eddie with an NBA 3, it's good. So Eddie Keith comes out with the first 5 points in the second half, and the Tigers are down 2, 32-30. Feed down low to Taylor, underneath reverse layup, no good. Tap is good by Brandon Stitt.
Another second shot.
34-32 Old Dominion. Back to Mormon, drives, lays it up, basket's good and he's fouled. Drive by Davis, slams it home. Tigers down 5, 50-45.
The Tigers were led in scoring by Mike Morcell's 14 points. As always, I'm joined by the head coach of the Tigers, Pat Skerry. And Coach, that was a game that we knew going in that you were going to have 2 hard-nosed, tough basketball teams. Both of them among the nation's leader in rebounds, both of them among the nation's leaders in offensive rebounds, and the game played out exactly as you would have expected.
Yeah, they're good, well coached, good team, certainly a type of team that'll prepare us well for conference play. I thought we played hard. I still felt like we played like a C+ game. I don't think we played like I think the one thing that's a little bit troublesome for us, I don't think we walked out of the building saying, there's not much more we could have done. We missed a big free throw block out with like 30 seconds left in the game, or maybe less than that, and we didn't get a good shot in the last possession. We kind of fouled up a set, and we still had time to maybe make an extra pass. So I think what we're trying to get right is our late game execution has got to get better, and more on the offensive end. I was looking last night, we're top 25 in the country in rebounding and field goal defense. So two pretty good things to be good at. Usually helps you win a lot of ball games. But we've had like 4 losses that have either come down to like the last possession or the last, even BC when a minute 14 was a 2-point game. So
right.
we've got to get better at those areas. A little bit of ball movement, a little more trust in each other. And this would be a good time to get better at those things.
Well, you look back, and Old Dominion was not a great shooting team coming into the ball game, and they didn't shoot great, but they made some big shots. B.J. Stiff,
they made some timely. They made a couple timely threes. Yeah,
right.
They did. But you got to do that to pull off
sure
big wins in close games. Jeff's a good friend. He called after. He said that was a great game for December. I said, well, for you, what? but it was. It's we've got some other games like that coming up too. It's why we scheduled this way. It's just that it's like anything. I think we're good enough to seize some of these games, but we've got to actually go out and do it.
All right, here's a question for you.
Sure.
Who is your free throw defensive coordinator?
I know.
They're not doing a very good job. Teams are shooting like 79% at the foul line against the Tigers.
We're actually like bottom 4 in the country right now, which is not it's an unlucky stat, which hurt us a little bit last year. So we talked about this with our guys yesterday when we watched film. The one area defensively we've got to get better. We're fouling too much for whatever reason, and we normally don't foul that much. So we've got to do a better job at fouling. We also said we've got to do a better job at not fouling because teams are making foul shots. So we don't want to just hope they start missing. But yeah, give Old Dominion credit. They were really struggling at the foul line, and they did a pretty good job of knocking down foul shots most of the game.
In the ball game, William Adalamoto, he ended up fouling out. He only played 17 minutes the entire game. He's a guy that you need to get those 30, 35 minutes.
Yeah, he played good in the first half. I thought he was back to being aggressive and attacking. You talk to guys a lot about every foul is probably worth about 5 less minutes. And, I didn't like his 5th foul. I thought it was a bad call. His 4th foul, though, was a foul he can't commit. 25 feet from the basket, just reach it in. We don't do that. And he's a good enough player and an intelligent enough player to realize that. So, we've got to fix that up. I don't think anyone played like over their head on Saturday. I was impressed with Alex Thomas the last 10 minutes. Really challenged him during the timeout. We had a stretch the second half. They didn't score for almost 12 minutes. And normally when you do that, you should be able to seize control. But they're good defensively too. And I think against those type of teams, they remind me a lot of a Charleston per se. You've got to make sure you really get good ball movement, and not just ball movement where it's moving, but like hitting the guy where he wants it on time, on target, so that he can become a pretty good shooter.
Now, prior to the Old Dominion game, you guys had a game against Goucher where you got the freshman a lot of very key minutes, and Dennis Tunstall had a double-double, played really well. How important was that for you to get those guys a lot of minutes?
Yeah, I think it's going to be important. I think he played really well that night. You're starting to see Zane Martin and Justin Gorham in particular play more, and I think they will. Justin's like leading us in rebounds per minute, and kind of interesting. He's going to be really good. He actually has put on 12 pounds since the season started of muscle, which doesn't happen that often, but it shows you that he's like kind of got a high ceiling. So I think he's a guy we can expect to see more from moving forward.
All right. That will do it for us today on today's episode of the Tiger Basketball Report. Join us next time when head coach Pat Skerry and I preview the Tigers' upcoming games against the Greyhounds of Loyola and Fairleigh Dickinson University.